Like, because isn't there?
I can't discuss other students' performance with you.
Are you allowed to
Here we go.
discuss the good ones?
There's 3 of them that are remote, right?
What's that?
There's 3 that's remote, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't even know how many, because honestly, when I think of this class, I think of these parents. All right, so here we go. When is the only time so we moved everything over to one side. When is the only time you need to switch that greater than or less than sign?
It's negative.
What's negative? When I divide or multiply by a negative. And let's talk about y real quick. Negative 2x is greater than 10. Okay, which side is the negative on?
The left.
This
So you're
side.
gonna be dividing the.
So when I divide by a negative, now all of a sudden, we just took this whole number line where this side over here was negative, and we just divided by a negative, so now this side is positive and this side is negative. So what did basically we do to the entire number line? Like oompa loompa, right? Okay, we just flipped the whole thing, which is why we would want to flip the sign. Does that make sense, guys? That's kind of why we do that. I highlight that because I find that kids, by the time you get here, you learn flip it when you multiply or divide by a negative, but you have no idea why. Okay, it's because you're literally flipping the number line. Okay, so now let's factor this dude. Brr, 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 brr. So what? What's the easy part on this one? The first part or the last part? The 6 or the 2, which one's the easy one? The 2, because there's only one option for that, isn't it? So there's only one choice. Now, here we go. We have 6 and 1, 2 and 3, and I multiply by this, or it's this, correct? Those are all the options. So I got 12, 13, oh, wait a minute, 12 and 1. Can I do 12 and 1? Would that make 11? Okay, so I need the 2 times the 6, so I got 6x, 1x, and that needs to be negative, so boop, boop. Is everybody okay with that? At this point, guys, you should be able to factor this fairly easily. Now, somebody's phone. All right. Now, can we graph this?
I feel like it's yours.
It might be. No, because it would be like buzzing my leg. Oh, it's yours. Okay. Thank you for not having your ringer on, though. Okay, so in this case, what are my 2 solutions? X equals 2. X equals, well, what do I got to do over there? Negative 1, and then divide by 6, so I get negative 1/6. Does everybody agree with that? So on their number line, they have it at 2 and negative 1/6, right? Open circles or closed circles? Oh, open because, oh, wait a minute. Closed because I forgot the equal to, right? Yep, no, you're right, I'm wrong. Here you go. And where do I shade? Where do I shade? Well, here's the deal. Could we use what we know about this graph? Does this graph open up or down? Totally opens up, doesn't it? Which part of that is above 0? Which part is above 0?
The 2, so.
The part here and here. Do you agree with that? Because that's like, if this were an XY graph, and we did it, we boop, boop, right? Because what are the 0? When we set them equal to 0, that's where it crosses the x-axis. Do you agree? So if it's, where's it above 0? Oh, it's these parts. Where's it below 0? This part right here. Get the idea? Now, let's pretend the sign went the other way. It was less than above. Well, what would I do? Oh, I want the middle part because that's the part that's below 0 rather than the part that's above. So that's one way to think about it. Does that make sense? Let me give you an entirely another way to think about it that doesn't wrinkle Southern's forehead. All right, are you ready? What number is between here?
1.
True. Go with an easy one. How about 0? Is 0 between here? Can I plug in 0, 0, and 0?
Yeah.
Let's see if it works. 0, is 0 greater than 2? No. So I tried a number that was in here, but it didn't work. So am I shading in between, or am I shading outside? Outside. Now, does that still match with what we just talked about? So whether you think about it as a one-dimensional graph, and you go, did it work? No. So this part is, we'll just pretend that's an exclamation point, not a second S. Yeah. Okay, so whether you think about it one-dimensionally or whether you think about it two-dimensionally, does it match? And again, it's kind of like everything else. How do you know where to shade a graph when we were shading? You picked a point, correct? So did we just pick a point here? So now let's talk about the actual answers. How do I say this and that? Well, where does this start over here? Negative infinity, do we agree? Yes, 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 yes. To negative 1/6, does everybody agree? Then we have a no part, and then what do we have? 2 to infinity, does everybody agree? So now, obviously, we probably ought to have some parentheses there, don't you think? What sign goes in the middle? And it's listed down here. You can actually use 2 things down here. Which ones? Is it this one? Seriously? Is that how I connect those two? No. Is that how I connect them? How about this one or this one? Right? Because do I have 2 parts that I need to include? Either this or this. Do we agree? Now, I could say or I could use union, because what does union mean?
Together.
Together. Very good. Okay. Does this make sense, guys? Yes. Good. Okay. How are we doing? Want to do another one?
Well, whenever, I don't,
You want to see if we got it right?
yeah,
Okay. Cool. Let's do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Mr. Moore's wrong.
because I don't know, whenever I did them, it wasn't the infinity.
Okay. Oh, okay. I can tell. Negative 1/6, right? Or, I suppose I can put union, parenthesis, and what was it? 2, comma, infinity. Now, how do I know if this is the way I should write it? Or if x less than equal to, or if I should write it with the x's and the greater than and less than. How should I know? Can I show a solution real quick? Or show example? Which way did they give it to us? They give it to us with greater than or less than, right? So, I should have probably gone with the help, but that's fine. Oh, because I'm on my teacher. So could I say x is, if I want this way, what is it? Less than or equal to negative 1/6. Does everybody agree? Or x is what? Greater than or equal. Yeah, okay. 2. Does everybody agree with that? Does that help?
Yeah.
Or would you like to do another one? I think we're going to do another one. Go fast. Here we go. All right, first things first. What do I do? Everything to one side. Now, by the way, I could technically do this. I could technically do this with 2 graphs. Could I graph this parabola and then graph this line and then figure out where do they cross? Because this is a parabola, right? And this is a line. And could I say, oh, well, where is the parabola bigger than the line? in this middle, isn't it? Right? That means I gotta do two separate graphs. That kind of sucks, right? When instead, can I just move everything over? Oh, hey, I'm starting badly. Why would I not want to start here? What would I do instead of this?
-5 on one side and 1 on the other side? Or no, -5x and 1x.
Okay, hold that thought. Plus 8x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 0. Would you rather factor that, or would you rather factor this or that? This one, why?
The 5 possible.
5's positive. Does it matter? Makes no difference whatsoever, does it? So it's a matter of, do you like your answer like this or like that, correct? It's the same basic principle. So here, let's go ahead and factor this fella. All right, here we go. What do we got?
-2, no.
Okay, how many different ways can I break that up?
5 and 1.
5x, 1x, that's a guaranteed done, correct? All right, what else? How do I break up 4? 2 and 2, or 1 and 4? Actually, well, okay, fair enough. But in this case, what kind of signs do I need? One positive, one negative. So here we go. 2, 2. I need the -8 in the middle, so what should I do? What kind of signs?
Negative. No, positive.
Yeah, plus here, negative there. Why? You ready?
Oh.
-10, positive 2. Do you agree? Okay. So, and this is 0 is greater than all that crap, correct? So what do I do now that I haven't factored? What do I need to do? Set equal to 0. X equals 2. X equals -2/5. So if here's 0, we have -2/5, and we have +2. Does everybody agree with that? Okay, open or closed? Okay, does this open up or does it open down? So which part is 0 greater than all that stuff?
In the middle.
That's right, it's going to be in this area, isn't it? Now you say, I don't believe you, Mr. Moore. So what could you do instead? Could I try 0? 0, 0 is 0 greater than or equal to -4. Is 0 greater than -4? I'm waiting on Connor. Okay. Yes, it is. So it worked. So this is yes. So how would I write it? Well, how do I write where the X is in the middle? Correct? What goes over here? Does that say from here to there? Yeah. Now, how come this has nothing to do with that sign right there? This says, where is it above 0 or below 0, correct? These just say from here to here, that thing is true. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. So again, I can either like use my little graphing knowledge, or I can just test a point and see. Is that better? Those are some really good questions. All right. Is this a problem you would have used completing the square to solve? No. Why would you not use complete the square on this? Well, the middle was even, but did you have a number up in front of that x squared? That'd be poo-poo, wouldn't it? Okay. All right, what's next? Quadratic inequality is two variables. Ooh. All right, so we're supposed to select which one this is, right? Well, how do I do that?
Yes.
Ugh. Well, first of all, what's wrong with literally everything down here? Y is not by itself. Do you agree? Can I make Y by itself very fast in every one of these cases? Okay. Uh-oh, I have another small problem. What's going to be my other small problem? Y, if I move that 21 over, what's wrong? What do you see?
Negative.
Negative. So if I switch the signs, what would I also need to do? How come? What did I just
You
do?
divide it by a negative.
I divided by negative. So I have y is less than or equal to negative x squared minus 10x minus 2. At this, what's up? All right. At this point, y is less than, correct? So is that okay? Does it have an equal to? Yes. If any of these didn't have equal to's, could I get rid of them immediately? How come? Solid line, right? Not valid. So if I know this is the kind I want, which ones can I get rid of right now? How come? I used this one to get this, correct? Is this the right type of sign? Below solid. So now all I have to do is do what? Figure out between this one and this one, is that right? Okay, so what do? I could factor it, couldn't I? Okay, could totally factor it. What else could I do? Could I test a couple points? I mean, it's multiple choice, right? So could I test, say, -5 in here? See which one it works in? Seems reasonable to me. Or better yet, is the vertex right here? So how do I find a vertex out of this? How do I find the vertex? Opposite of B over 2A. What's B? -10. So if I put it over here, it's 10. Do you agree? Because opposite of -10. And what's A? -1. 2 times -1. Do you agree? All right, so that makes -5. Is our vertex right over here at -5? It is. So is this probably our solution? How do I know it's not this? Look at the difference in the B's. Are they backwards of each other? Where's that other B going to be? Over there, right? Okay. Now, alternatively, that's one way you could do. You could eliminate options, okay? Could I just give the solution to this real fast? Where's the solutions? -7 and -3, correct? Do you agree with that? Okay. Now it's flipped over, isn't it? So if it's flipped over, I gotta have a negative. Do you agree with that? And y is what? What do we say? Less than or equal to. At this point, could I FOIL that out and see which one it matches? Here we go. Does everybody agree with that? So now, all I have to do is get everything to one side till I find something that matches that. So let's go back. Could I work with this, move it here and try to graph it? Could I take from the graph the 2 points I wanted and make an equation. What's that? It kind of, yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. It just depends on what you want to do. Honestly, those choices are kind of a mess, right? But could I do stuff with it? Yeah. By the way, what might be an easy way to make this whole problem easier? How long does it take me to do this? Would that make my signs all correct in a hurry? So yeah, make it watch. So in this case, I need something with a negative 10 in the middle and something that the 21 will go over there. Oh, there, because I gave it away. Let's do another one of those. Okay, where's the solutions? 4 and 8. So here we go. How do I make x equals 4 and x equals 8? X minus 4, x minus 8. Does everybody agree with that? All right, is it up or down? Down. Y is what? Is it shaded below or above? Less than or equal to. Now can I make it match one of those? I can. Okay? So that's how fast we can do those. Again, are you going to have to do a little solving? Yeah. But at this point, should Algebra 2 students be able to move and get y by itself? Should be.
Those ones are so much easier than like the example, because I look at the examples and stuff,
And what they do?
and it's just,
They said, okay, so they moved the 32 over. Then they multiplied by -1. They switched the sign. Now, they took a -1 out. Well, what's the -1 tell you? Up or down? Okay, and then they factored. Okay, so that's this one. Do they have a second way? I didn't really show a second way, did they?
they only show one way for every example.
Yeah, new problem. Let's go. Ooh, which one's this one gonna be? What kind of graph is it? It's a positive, correct? Shaded below. So less than. All right. How many do I have you doing here?
3.
3?
I think so.
Algebra 2. No, that's the test.